Hey guys, doing a third follow-up video on what CT scanning is going to do for trading card games. And I'm looking at more TCG, because once again, sport cards, I don't think those are going to be as affected. But with the CT scanning capabilities, it's going to affect the markets of mainly boxes and packs, but I think it can also affect the prices of single cards, obviously. With that being said, I think the cards that are more sought after, um, holographic cards, at least for vintage cards, cards that are hard to get, not as many that are out in the wild, um, are going to be more out in the wild, and do not be surprised if, say, for Yu-Gi-Oh, like an Effect Veiler or something. I'm pulling out card names that I know from when I was playing. I mean, Blue Eyes White Dragon, obviously. Cards like that going down in price. Also, with Magic the Gathering, foils, um, those cards are going to be going down in price as well because there's going to be more out and available to buy as a single card. I actually think that's going to be great for the game, um, at least initially. And I mean, it falls victim to the whole fraud thing. I can see a lot more fakes being pulled out. I can see a lot more um, higher grade fakes being created. Um, and it's mainly just because there's going to be more cards that are sought after going to be opened. It's going to become more of a common thing. So I think it's going to be great in the sense of if you play in tournaments, it's going to be a little bit cheaper, if not a lot cheaper, than what the price is right now for some of the cards. I also think that it's going to be more readily available, which is good. But once again, thinking about how this all is going to play out, this is a kind of a step or a gateway to fraud. Um, and I don't really see it much of any other way myself because I've seen this already happen these um, without the CT scanning being in play. I think the CT scanning is going to entice more people who have been intrigued or are already into the fraud system of faking cards, faking packs, faking boxes. Um, and I don't think singles are an exception. I think singles are definitely something that has been heavily focused on. A lot of people have been making fakes of single cards. What seems like the beginning of time. And and that problem has not been solved. It really has not. As much as people will say, well, they've done this, they've done that. You can tell if it's a fake of this and that. Fakes are continuously making, people have been making better fakes as time has gone on. It's been a kind of like a race, an ongoing race. Can the fakes get really good to the point that nobody recognizes them? And once they get recognized, can there be an even better fake made? And the answer always seems to be yes. it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. I could see this helping single cards be more readily available, um, which is great. This will help those that are building decks for competitive play in whatever card game they're trying to be competitive in for getting ready for a tournament. A lot of players they have to and end up buying a new cards to stay or keep up with everyone else, and or build a whole entire new deck, and that is very expensive. And I think these cards that are very expensive, they will be going down in price because there'll be more out in the open. More people will be willing to sell. Sorry. But yeah, I think it initially, and I think most likely, I think singles are going to be the best possible way if you're looking, trying to figure out the way to get a card or even build a deck. The best way is to buy singles. It has been, and that will continuously happen. I just think that the difference of buying packs, buying boxes versus buying singles, the gap is just going to widen. And I think that it's just going to be so obvious. I know for me when I was playing um, Magic the Gathering, I'll use that as an example. But it was the same with Yu-Gi-Oh! But I would always buy packs because I thought it was fun. And same with Magic, I would buy packs. But when it came down to building a deck, I would look at multiple cards that I could use. I actually, back then, I spent months looking at every single card that I could possibly use. That's for vintage, that's for legacy. I was looking at the top decks, seeing what was going on, and what were the best decks and that were going to be played in whatever tournament I was in. And are there how can they be countered? How frequently those cards could be countered and things like that. And like playtest, I would then be able to find cards that I really liked, then look for the combos, and then build the deck, and then playtest again. And then after that, I would buy the deck and then play test again. So, and when I was buying the deck, I mean, obviously I had some cards, so I didn't have to buy all the cards, but most of the cards I would need, I would buy them as singles. Because that's just, I know for EDH, you can only have one card. It's a 100 card deck. One is the commander, so it's 99 after that, and you can only have one of each card print. So, one Captain Sisse, one Paradox Engine, I guess I'll say, or a Plains, something like that. The only cards you could have multiples of was like mountains, plains, all the lands, the basic lands. So there was that. At least when I was playing, that's how it was. So I don't know if it's changed, how much has changed. I don't think it has changed very much. So I would be buying the cards as singles. With that being said, I think it's also something to be very wary of. Buying stuff online. Be very wary of it. There are lots of fakes. There will be more fakes. Fakes always seem to slip through systems somehow, some way. Very odd. But it does happen. Card shops could be the best way. That way you can actually see the card. They will actually, most card shops, if they're friendly and they're good, um, they'll actually let you look at the card. They will have a case on it, so you don't have to. They won't have any worry of you damaging it. Um, Maybe I know that one thing that I've heard a lot about is theft in card shops, so maybe they won't let you look at it. But usually, if if you're a frequent person at your local card shop, you go there like once a week, once a month, something like that, or even more frequently. They should know that you're somebody to trust. And I mean, I know at my when I was playing at my card shops, I never had an issue except for one place, um, and that was a place more recently, and that was fairly odd that they would not pull out the cards unless you were seriously gonna buy it, and I didn't understand why. It almost, to me as a customer, it seemed like they were trying to hide something. So quite honestly, I just chose not to buy any cards. So that's just another thing I wanted to add. This is the last bit of it. I just wanted to make three separate parts. This is kind of more of the positive side of what could happen with CT scanning. Um, Once again, there's lots of videos. Some videos are saying this is the end of trading card gaming. I know I said that in the previous video. Do I think it's the end of trading card gaming? I believe it's a step in that direction. I also think that it will ruin it. I don't think the game will be completely the same. Um, and sometimes change is good, but we will see what happens. I think that there is a lot of YouTubers that have been making videos saying that nothing's going to change. This doesn't change anything. Do not let them fool you. This changes a lot of things, everything. And I mean, you don't have to take my word for it. You can believe them, but you'll see it very, very relatively soon. And if you don't, then you've already kind of missed the warning. But yeah, 100%. This CT scanning is going to change trading card games. It's going to change the pricing. It's going to affect sealed items, especially because you're going to find that a lot of the stuff has been searched. Um, how much of these products are actually going to be searched? I think there's going to be more. Do I think all the product items are? Do I think all the items are going to be searched? I don't. I don't think so. Is every box of Magic the Gathering's first set, or Yu-Gi-Oh's first set, or Pokemon's first set going to be searched? A lot of them will, not all of them. But when you get into that aspect of it, are you going to spend that kind of money? Like, let me see. What is the price? How much is a sealed Pokemon first edition box? 384,000. Wow. This is just a search I did on Bing. If are you going to spend that much money, knowing that 65, maybe even 75, it couldn't even be more of the products that are out in rotation that are readily able to buy, that you can go online, click buy. 65-75% of the boxes and packs that are online are already searched. And vintage has been around for a long. Vintage vintage game cards that have been around, let's say, so the first, second, third, fourth, maybe fifth set for like Pokemon. I would say Pokemon all the way to like the gold and silver era. Is kind of what I think of when I think of vintage. Also for Magic, all the way through like Ice Age. Um, that's kind of vintage. Or even Antiquities. Um, Going into Yu-Gi-Oh, it's really all the way up to GX era. So, are those is there very many boxes that are completely sealed or packs completely sealed? As of right now, no. There's not that many. Many of them have been destroyed or lost or opened already. So that's why the prices are as high as they are. And I don't think it makes any sense for somebody to go out and buy something. And we've had people, at least that they claim that they're experts of those card games, make major mistakes. I'll bring up the Logan Paul thing again. Logan Paul had an expert that told him he had 100% certainty that this case of first edition boxes, I think there was like 9 or something edition, first edition boxes of Pokemon, was legit. And even the Beckett guy, the guy that grades the stuff, looked on the outside and everything looked good, according to him. What did they do after that, though? They decided to take a step further and open it. Guess what they found? They found G.I. Joe packs. Unfortunately, that means that Logan Paul has been scammed. His expert on the game, maybe not as much of an expert now. You can never know. And that's the reality. Is you never know what's real and what's fake, especially this day and age. There is so much funny business going around. So I would take everything as a very cautionary approach. I would not be trusting people with anything. I mean, I would even be wary of even sending it to a CT scanning place, because you don't know what they're going to do. This is a new thing. You have no idea if they're going to bring it back. They damaged it. That's something that's happened. I think that's been extraordinarily common since the start of Beckett grading. One of the biggest accusations is them damaging a card, saying that, oh, the grading, why was the grading not that good? And look and see, oh, there's the damage there. Now, have those people looked at their card that closely? They're probably looking closer because they didn't get the grade they wanted. But you never know. But anyways, I just wanted to make this video giving a bit of a highlight and a fair warning of what to expect and how to basically use your money the wisest way when looking at the best way of using your hard-earned money to buy trading cards. Anyways, have a great day. Bye.